So check in to find out what you have within, because then it's able to come out and bless us. Bless us outward starts with blessing us inward, and blessing us inward starts with checking inward. Oh my God, holy. It is so warm out. It is so nice out. What a fresh start to a fresh year. And it's November 23rd, 2017. Ooh, the soulful babe is feeling herself, like, for sure. So, feeling more settled now on what has happened, the changes that have occurred, and the acceptance of the transformation into this new phase of confirmation, right? Like, of being able to be gifted with confirmation and assurance of the self, of who we feel like we are, I think comes when the triumph comes, when the pain and the push and the persistence of the process has endured. So bright. When all of that has come, then the fruits come. And then the pruning starts to happen again. And the cutbacks of in order to bear more fruits. Oh, I've been listening to service for sure. And that process of embracing the struggle, embracing I'm 27 now, baby. Embracing what is not our way. Because I think a lot of the disagreement and the anger and the frustration and the unsatisfactory is when there's such a label of what we want put on top of what is, and thinking that we're the deciders, we're the determiners of everything, and denying that we're in relation to source. We're being sourced what we are being given and what we are being gifted as, and seeing it that way comes from when us needing to do everything 100% and us worrying about that it isn't matching this fragment of measurement, then I swear half the problems are coming from that. So nice out, hey? I'm feeling more settled. I'm feeling more of a piece of content, not in any way of staying. The contentness is not in staying. The contentness is understanding the move now and having solace and comfort in knowing who I am. Essentially, that's what happened yesterday. Life mirrored me, it gifted me with the moment of having someone sit down. When God takes the time for you, that you have made it to the point that that you get to sit down with God and have a face-to-face of, he's I'm going to make it so obvious for you that all what you have been suspecting is going to be defined, and it's going to come through you from a person that is so obvious that it's your type of person. I'm going to make it obvious. It's going to come at the time that it was such a gift. It was such a birthday gift of a gift on my birthday. Which essentially, it wasn't my actual birthday, right? Because I wasn't born yesterday. Get it? However, even though that was facing with, really, it was such a moment with God. It was such a moment of God, as they are, that it just reflected exactly. I was like, well, I have waited 27 years for this day, for this moment. And it came on this day, which was beautiful and a blessing. And that's a gift. And I think when I can sit in the sun and the heat and just smile and not have a full mass of things to say to unravel is beautiful sometimes, because it's enjoyment. It's kind of enjoyment when you get to places that you can enjoy, because you've got things that it's not just you, because you wanted it for so long. And then it was given to you without you trying to anymore at this point, because your will was changed, your mindset was changed. My will was changed, my mindset was changed. My perspective of being able to be you know what? I'm going to behave on my knowingness as if that's enough. I'm going to behave based on faith. And showing up and videoing myself every day this month has been part of that behavioral faith. It is in full of that. And then I really feel like we get it if we get faith first. And faith is unresult oriented. I'll take it either way, because I'll have faith and trust to know. It's interesting, because since I've been saying that's what I'm working on, that is really actually what I have been working on implementing, that I've actually been doing that to physically implement. And oh yes, Lord. And it's beautiful, and it's a tall order. It's a high request, and it's a strong fulfillment of a contract to pull in to get what we are needing to first give. Is this making sense? Is this clear? I mean, this is esoteric, elusive transfiguration of all the parts of what are going on. So it is what it is right now. But it is time to talk. So that is why. don't really know where to go with this right now. I guess I think my breath is kind of like taken away from the awe and the amazement and the surprise and the gift. Have I said gifted enough? Like, wow. So, okay. It's like it's a big chunk. No. One moment. Okay, so what the piece that just came up for me now in talking of that is that when these things happen and the greatness, there is still the decision that when we feel so great, when we get so high in our strength, on our come up, ooh, the devil is a liar. And still is like anytime there's full-on movement, it's requiring this decision again to keep that movement. When things are coming at to try and go down, it's like, no, still going with it. So the decision is when feeling full, when feeling free, when feeling happy and content and satisfied and certain, is still choosing that attitude, is still knowing and still making that decision on the come up, on the build. Make that decision on the build. It's not just like you make it once at the baseline to do the foundation and then, okay, then all of a sudden we're mountains high up and we're like built. So that means like every step of the build, every step on the way, this attempt at interfering and this foggy questioning still remains. This is what we don't control. This is who we are. This is what we do control, and this is what we decide. And the deciding, I think, is a continuation of moment-to-moment decision, moment-to-moment process of, okay, because what happened was I got to a standstill of greatness, right? Like, okay, got to a standstill in this video of sitting, feeling settled, content, relieved, going to relaxed. And then I noticed this like shaking inside, this uneasiness of like outward, an outward force, an outward hit coming at, and I thought, oh, well, what is that? Doesn't make sense because I feel this way. And the devil is the devil regardless of what we are deciding, right? Like whatever you decide is your decision for you, does not mean that it's the decision of the others to decide to change with you, decide to, like, when you make a decision for yourself and for your truth and for your true life, that decision, you are not making the decision for others to be like, okay, now there's going to be no disagreement and we're all in this, right? Lots of times I'll feel this, like once I get something and I'll feel a certain way, I'm like, okay, everyone, like, yeah, right? And they're like, but no, so that's standing beside and knowing that when I make a change to change me, to walk into and be in what I am in now, in this newness, in this freshness, in this realization, in what I am answering to my source, that there is still, I am not making it, that does not change anything else. That doesn't decide to change on its own. So the things that we feel like come at us or challenge us or question us, and if there is a victim response, if there is a different response now, that's what distinguishes the change. That what distinguishes the difference is the difference in response. It is not the difference in their response. It is in ours. So then it's like we make the decision every moment to stay committed to our change, to stay committed to our realization. And that is choice in sourcing to a new lifestyle. That is choice to changing to our truth and to staying in that. So the standstill happened when I started the second video, and I was like, I gotta find myself. What just happened, right? And realizing that I was like, I thought I was good. Like I thought I'm good to go. So then what? And that was the other factors. That was everything outside. That has not changed overnight. That did not have their birthday free realization of, they did not have their gift in that same way. And so I guess when we change, do not expect other things and the other side to change with us. It is more a focus on the commitment to us staying in our change, to us continuing to commit to our change. And then we know our place. Yeah. So not much more words right now. This is like kind of where it's at. And I still think I'm like coming from yesterday. So, but going with faith, like really that has become the premise. The premise of this all is I watch myself talk, and when it comes back, it keeps coming out faith. It keeps coming out trust. And it's interesting because it's not what I think is going to be what I say. So I didn't think it was going to be what the message and the meaning of it is, but it is. It has been lots. I'll talk about different topics. I'll talk about different perspectives. Talk about different things that are going on. And I curve back around. I keep coming back to the center is those two pieces of faith and trust, and how that comes from upsourcing and recognized sourcing of self. So I love myself so much more. Like, I really love myself. When I really know myself, these are the other things. Questions for thoughts are like, what stops you? But really, what do you let stop you? That's going to be the discovery. That's going to be the thing to find out what stops you. Then you can let go of what stops you if you realize it's a choice based on believing that perspective at some point. And since it's stopping you, and it's your permission that's giving it permission to stop you. Like, the things you don't let stop you, you don't give permission to. So the things that are stopping you, you have given your permission to them. Okay, so now we're getting into like a little bit more of a thing. And that's where we check ourselves. And here's the thing. So this is also from service, is that God checks us to bless us. So our relationship with God is him checking us to bless us. And now it's like, what our relationship with ourselves is check yourself to bless yourself. That's why I check myself all the fucking time. All goddamn time. I'm always checking in with me. People that I've been friends with, I'm always checking in with them. I'm like, okay, so just checking in. How are you? What's going on? Just checking in where you're at, what you're letting be at where you're at. The power of checking in is the premise of these video vlogs, which we named From the Heart of the Soulful Babe. From the Heart of the Soulful Babe, because I feel like that is very fitting. So that was gifted to me yesterday too. From the Heart of the Soulful Babe. For sure, From the Heart of the Soulful Babe. So, From the Heart of the Soulful Babe. From the Heart of the Soulful Babe is, what was I saying? Is checking ourselves. Check in with yourself and check yourself from what are you, oh no way. It's like, what do you carry with you? What do you take with you? What do you accept? What do you not accept? Just check in, because when you check in, then you get awareness, then you get answers, then you get understanding, which unveils and uncovers your knowing, your sense of certainty. Your goddamn awareness comes from checking in with yourself. And checking in with God, like, for sure. Definitely keep this channel open of communication, flowing, togetherness check-in. God's always checking in with you, whether or not you check in with him, whether or not you check in with yourself. It's just the checking in is what lets you check outward, like how you want to check out, not out of it. Out. Checking in lets us accept our blessing. It really does, because it frees us. It frees us when we check in with ourselves. A true, honest check-in to inventory, to stock, to awareness, to observation is then able to let us realize, when we break it down and walk all the way down to the root, like, okay, where is this? What is this from? Lets us realize that since we're checking in with all this, and since we have this observation and awareness, and when we verbally answer those check-ins, those verbally, like, literally make yourself say something to answer a question that you don't think you have the answer to, because all our resources are coming from within us. This is what was said when I was studying NLP. This is what was almost on the test. So excited. If all our resources are from within us, then doesn't it make sense to check in with us? So it's November 23rd, 2017. Checking in. The Soulful Babe checking in. T. Lynn's checking in. Oh, love it. So check in to find out what you have within, because then it's able to come out and bless us. Bless us outward starts with blessing us inward, and blessing us inward starts with checking inward and upward. Oh yeah, finding it now, feeling it now, see, and working through it. Because what did I do? Checked in by showing up. When I started this video today, don't know what I want to talk about. Wasn't really sure. Didn't have something that like urged to come out. So I'd walked through it, outwardly walked through it and inward, like verbally outward, walking through it inward. Let me discover message. That's the message. Checking in, checking in, check in. All right, peace out. See, I checked in so I can check out. Namaste. Love you. Tracy Lynn Donaldson.